Can't call with 9 high. Don't want to 3-bet Irish Finn with 7-3. But with ace-jack suited, we're all in. That's a spot where we didn't want to induce any action. We're just happy to take the pot down. And stacks have really changed. Wow, I was just mindlessly clicking away. Yeah, you and Josh are tied for first. Irish and Donk are tied for, third and short. And Salalito and the other guy are not too far behind. So that changes ICM things where, like, before, with all the short stacks, we may have even not taken this ace-jack suited shove spot because there was value to outlasting people. But now, no one's super desperate. We can't expect a lot of people are going to go out next. So we can't pass out on profitable reshove spots. And, like, although, we're going up against one of the other big stacks, if he folds, it's great. We become second. But if he has a hand that he calls us, we play a pot where, even if we're behind 30% of the time, we become the runaway chip leader of the tournament, and then we can basically just win the tournament. So, we'll say against his range, if he calls us, we'll go like 55% of the time we get eliminated, but 45% of the time we have a stack that wins us the tournament. So 45% of the time we're winning like 60K, 55% of the time we're winning 18K, whereas if we fold here, our expectation's probably to, win, I don't know, 28K or something. And then you run the numbers. Ben, that's kind of how you do like an ICM of like whether or not you want to take a spot, right? Based on payouts and shit. Okay. If you guys want to know the exact breakdown of that, maybe we can do a workshop separate video. But right now we need to continue to rip through because it's starting to get late over there in London. All right, so we got Josh Prager calls Salalito, but his hand is no good. Queens are ahead. And we're limping in with King 10 of spades. Not really the flop we were looking for, so we don't throw any action in there, especially four ways, especially with the players in the blinds who can have anything. So onward we go. Not going to play the simple jack. Josh Prager is all in, and he gets there against Salalito. I see what you were talking about with the ridiculousness of this tournament. But I guess you didn't mind with your chip position and like your seat on the table. I think sometimes people obsess too much, like, man, like, I need someone to bust off this table so I can get a pay jump. Is that what you really need? Is that really the top priority? Occasionally it is, but usually, like, it's not. And change your strategy. It's not only about laddering. Josh Prager holds against Donk Committed. I think sometimes people get too caught up on the immediate money jumps and forget the big picture and why they registered the tournament in the first place. All right, is this it for Donk Committed? Nope, he's just winning another flip. This is great. Good action.
Yeah.
Our blind Josh.
I think there's a stage where I start. You'll see that I fold good hands, but it's because I was in the hotel and the hotel internet connection just went completely. I disconnected like 7 times throughout the day, and then it just went. So I had to run downstairs in my pajamas, in colourful pajamas, and sit with loads of rich people whilst they were having tea, and sit in the lobby and just play on the laptop. So you might see me folding some good hands accidentally.
So you have some of the best luck in terms of the cards you hit, but you have the absolute worst luck in terms of the situations that happen to you, yet you do not tilt and you still manage to win. This is, dude, your story is epic. It's beyond epic. Internet was kicking out all day, disconnects, shorthanded at the final table, still goes on to win. Wow. The Norman and Lon are going to have a field day when they do your coverage during the main event. Because I'm going to provide them with all this material beforehand, so they have all this stuff to talk about. It's going to be awesome. All right. Josh tries to limp in. We will not be calling with ace-9. We will be raising with it, though, and taking. No jack-6. Okay. Queen 3. please. Oh, we got an all-in and a call, and we finally have an elimination. Fud Buff ran into the big slick of Josh Prager, and we are down to 5-handed. We got about 120 hands left, which will go pretty quick. So we're going to take this opportunity to take some questions from the audience. Mafia Boy, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, guys, I'm going to do a quick bathroom break again. Charlie's going to field the first 5 minutes of questions, and then I'll come back to help with the fielding of the last 10 minutes. And then over the course of the next hour, we will rip through all our way down to heads up. And then we'll probably take one more break, and we'll go through the heads up. So fire off your questions, and Charlie will be answering these. Charlie's going to play the main event? Yes. I'm pretty sure he'll be playing the main. You're 21, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing. He might even just win the thing. Who knows?
Alright, what motivated me to work on poker? I started off playing just kind of for fun. I deposited like a small amount, just like $10, $15 on stars. And my friend and I just saw it's just like a little competition between ourselves to see who could do better at grinding like the $1.50 sit and goes on stars. And we just had it, just thought it was fun. And eventually I saw that I was moving up stakes quicker than most people. And I just kind of fell in love with the game, just like the whole outthinking other people. And saw it. I just love the idea of being able to try and climb up a stake and outthink a different set of people, then try and outthink the set of people above them, etc. And yeah, it was kind of... I moved up kind of quick in terms of time, but in terms of how many hours I put in, like it wasn't that quick because I was working so long every day. And yeah, I found grips quite early in my poker career, and when I started moving to cash games, I think I moved at 10 NL or something, and started having shots at 10 NL, and that's where I found Gripsed Bankroll Challenge and just decided that I was going to watch that every day, and sent a few videos of myself playing into Epiphany and just tried to work on speaking to people about it every single day. Do you want me to explain the aces folds? Okay, so basically, when we folded aces, we're either way behind, so we'll have 10% equity or 9% equity against a jack, or we will have, say, like 70% equity against a straight draw. And it's just not a spot that we want to be getting ourselves in, even though it looks big to fold aces. I think given what's happened already, I don't think it's that important.
The guy's asking about oh, sorry, keep going.
What was it? Like build up from your back roll from 200 to 500 and drop down to 200. Actually, yeah, I had quite a lot of swings going up. I remember the first downswing I had was I got my roll up to like 600, then dropped to 100, and that, I mean, it wasn't that bad for me because I started so previously before, but then there was one when I'd moved out of the country just to play poker, and I'd got my bankroll from around $1,500 up to $60,000 in the space of a couple of months through cash games on Party Poker, and then in the space of 1 week from playing 5-10, I lost $50,000 of that $60,000, and I mean, I wasn't upset about it or anything. It really humbled me, because up to that point I was like, well, I'm the best. I must be the best. I'm beating everyone. And then I came across players that were better than me, and they used ideas that I hadn't learned about, and like balance and GTO and stuff like that, and they exploited the hell out of me. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't upset that I downswung. It put me in my place, and I think that's really important when you're moving up stakes, is realizing that you're losing and not just blaming it on bad luck and saying, oh, what are these people doing that's different to me? How can I adjust to that? How can I eventually beat that? So, yeah, I think it wasn't that much of an emotional thing. It was just a logical thing and a humbling thing. And a lot of different people, I think, have that problem when they move up stakes of not then being able to move down. Because I remember I went from playing 1,000 to now, and then having to go back down to grinding 200 and 100 now. And at first I was like, oh, I kind of don't want to, but I realized instantly it's completely necessary, and I have to.
Perky Control's got a good question there. How you got good at ranging, how average players can improve this skill. And I think it's important to mention, like, guys, Charlie was average not too long ago, and the other guy who says, like, heads up, Charlie's rich, we're not. Charlie wasn't rich not too long ago. So, yeah, like, it's like average players, just like, as long as you don't identify yourself with I am average, I'll always be average, cool. So people who aren't super sharp at it yet, yeah, what can they do to improve that skill, bro?
I think just, it sounds weird, it sounds dumb, but just like thinking a lot and just getting into the habit of thinking about, like, everyone who has watched enough groups videos will know how to range someone. You'll have been like, oh, he raised from early position, he has a stronger hand, he checked for this flop, it means that he has a marginal hand, so we can then narrow it down. But just getting into the habit of doing it over and over again, it's just like any skill. It's like learning to play a sport or learning to play an instrument. You get into the habit of doing it through autopilot, and eventually then you get good at it. Whereas I think a lot of people, if they're not concentrating whilst they're playing, they'll just get into the autopilot of not being that good at ranging and be like, oh, he must have a good hand. It's not that simple. And I think avoiding going on that autopilot is one of the most important things.
Guy wants to know about ROI. I don't know. If you're a real beast, you can probably hit a 50% ROI if you're really, really beast. But it also depends on how well you game select. If you're finding soft live events, you can have a much higher ROI than that. But I always tell people, don't focus too much on the numbers. It gets them worrying about the wrong things.
Yeah, never.
So the people who are asking about if the stream's frozen and stuff, what we're doing today is we're reviewing Charlie's victory in the Sunday 500 from a couple weeks ago, where he shipped the tournament for $67,000. If you're looking for an action stream where, you know, there's live play and where you can be involved in the show, that stream is tomorrow, and it'll start 4 p.m. EST. So about 4 hours ago, and it would still be running at this time. This is Theory Thursday, where we do reviews and we teach you new things. The live play streams are on Fridays, and starting next week, they'll be Saturdays as well. Joel asks what he gets by subscribing. You get the emojis that I put in the chat. You get a golden G-chip beside your name, so you get to feel like a boss. You get 1,000 G-chips so that you can have a better chance to win the 1% raffles, which I will be doing this Sunday in the $1 million tournaments online. And you also just get to support me and feel like a top boss, so that's the benefit of that. Do we have any other questions? Or are we ready to keep going? Michael D. Michelle says you gave a great answer, probably because you are a great player who's actually, that's the greatest thing about learning from someone like Charlie, is he's got the first-hand experience and he's gone through the process, so he can actually speak to it from a place of truth and experience, as opposed to someone who maybe read an article or just read a book and then is trying to tell you what they read in the book, like, oh, this is it, I know this is it, but they haven't lived it. And that's why we said earlier, you know, go out there and make mistakes so you can really experience and integrate the strategies you learn so that they become yours and you can understand them better. Okay, let's take that last question from a Michael Kaz, 99, and then we'll get back into the action. Cool.
The uni one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to uni after taking a couple of years out of just to play poker. Well, not quite 2 years, but yeah, I was going to take one gap year and I ended up taking two because of poker. And I then went to university because I thought that I would be able to juggle the time spent with social life, poker, and university life. I think I was correct in knowing I had enough time to do it, but the thing is that there was too much clashing. Like, university has to be during the day, and poker players, their sleeping patterns are so skewed and so just out of sync with